Hairless Joe is a white guy that's with a ton of hair,
Yeah.
played by a native gal named Mary, and like I'm like having to do like an over exaggerated Native American accent,
Right.
and and at the time you don't even think about it because I think I was a freshman, so this would have been in 97 or 98
Sure.
maybe.
Sure.
And yeah, at the time, you don't think about that. It's just like, and she seemed fine by it, didn't bother her, or didn't say it bothered her. And then now, when I think about it, like, holy crap, is that incredibly racist?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was all in the name of good fun. But like, oh my god, could we do that today? Absolutely not.
No. Same with The Office and Seinfeld.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, whoa, whoa, yeah. But anyway, so Lonesome Polecat and Little Abner, and let's see. After that, we did two productions that year. We did Little Abner, and then we did Father of the Bride.
mm.
That was terrible.
Mm.
It was bad, dude.
Mm.
Yeah. Nobody remembered their lines because it was just a bad play to begin with. Like nobody really wanted to do it, but yeah, nobody remembered their lines. The people who got cast in the lead parts were just terrible. Um, yeah, but anyway,
Sounds
moving
like
on.
fun.
And then after that, we did Alice in Wonderland, the musical,
Mm-hmm.
which was a lot of fun. I had multiple parts in that one. I was the Mad Hatter, and I was also the giant baby.
The giant baby.
Yeah, I put on these like oversized bib coveralls and like a little hat. We found a hat with a little spinny thing on top,
Yeah.
and then I purposely looked like I pissed my pants. Then I went out and sat on my mom's lap, my theater mom, my
Right.
mom in the play.
Yeah.
Went and sat on her lap. And she was this tiny, tiny little, like maybe 90-pound girl. I can't remember her name, but I just go plop on her
But
lap.
and you were.
And I was big. I was.
And now I see it. I
Yeah.
made the picture. What you?
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, Mad Hatter and Giant Baby, and I think I was also maybe a couple other like behind the scenes parts or extra voices or ensemble or something. But anyway, so what was after Alice in Wonderland? I know we did Guys and Dolls. That one was a lot of fun. That was a blast.
Oh, Guys and Dolls.
Guys and Dolls, and I was Sky Masterson. I was Marlon Brando. If anybody has seen the movie version of Guys and Dolls, Marlon Brando plays Sky Masterson. So I got to, replicate a role that the great Marlon Brando did.
Oh,
So it was cool, and that was so much fun, dude. Putting that production on, we got to wear suits and ties. We got to because it was set in the 40s. New York City, the 40s. So it was yeah, a lot of that.
Listen here, kid.
Listen here, son.
Why
You're gonna throw some dice. It was great. We got to throw dice, and we got to create all these elaborate scenes. It was so much fun. But I think that might have been my senior year, and I know there was another one in there, but I just don't remember what it was. But Murder at the Prom. I remember we did Murder at the Prom. That was a dinner theater thing we did, and we had crowd interaction.
Ooh, that's always fun.
Yep, I was. Oh God, what was my name? Vinny. My name was Vinny something, but I was like a New Yorker, New York high school. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was fun. Got to interact with the crowd, and brought some random people up on stage, interrogated them, stuff like that. And anyway, so maybe that was the other one that I missed in there. But yeah, so I was really last episode. Or not last episode, I think it was on your episode where I was talking about in school I didn't really try that hard. I was kind of nonchalant about it. Well,
Right.
I didn't apply for any scholarships. And I should have, I didn't. And Mrs. Tester, the theater teacher and my English teacher and my TA for probably my favorite teacher I've ever had, said, okay, you haven't applied for any scholarships. It's too late to do any of the big ones, but, you're going to go to BMCC? And I said, yeah. And she goes, well, the theater director there has 4 scholarships she's going to give. and I got you an audition. So I went in there and auditioned. What did I did a monologue from a streetcar named Desire. You know, another Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando's kind of my theater icon.
Yeah,
A little bit.
Right.
Anyway, and then so I got a scholarship, and I did one production as a collegiate thespian,
Oh.
and that was Scrooge.
Okay, all right.
Which was a huge. Oh my god! I thought the production for little Pilot Rock High School plays was intensive. I mean, this was like months of preparation for Scrooge, and I didn't have a big part. I was I was dance ensemble, chorus ensemble, and then I had like one or two small speaking parts. I didn't even have a name. I was just a cast
Guy in background.
Yeah.
Number 2.
But anyway, but it was just building up to it, building all the sets. And I can't remember how many different roles I had in that, but I helped with everything on that because I was part of the theater program and I was part of the choir program. So I was, helping out with all of it. And after that, it was like, okay, this is work. I mean, I lost like 25 pounds from doing all the dance classes and stuff. And, I got really sick towards the end of it. And I'm like, just got burned out. Just couldn't do it anymore. And anyway, so moving on, I kind of decided, which route do I really want to go? Do I really want to stick with theater, music, and trying to get all my core studies done? And and I really like choir, so I decided to hang up my theater hat, and which it was fun.
Right. Sounds like you loved it.
I did. I had a lot of fun doing it. I like performing.
So, thus, your love for movies.
Right. Yeah, it totally translated into a love for movies. I mean, pick a genre. Pick a genre, and I'll.
Science fiction.
Science fiction, aliens.
Aliens what?
Aliens movie.
You love it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's my favorite science fiction movie of all time. Now I know there's gonna be someone. Well, what about the first? What about Alien? Like, what? Don't get me wrong. That's a great movie. It's scary. It's intense, but it just doesn't have that extra pizzazz that I crave, which Aliens brought, which was space marines, machine guns, and large-scale explosions.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Ridley Scott's a genius, dude. The stuff he comes up with, he's a genius. I mean, and then I liked all of the Alien series franchise movies. Really, there was a couple that were kind of bad, but all in all, you kind of have to love all of them just so you
right, as a whole.
As a whole, yeah. And the new age ones, Prometheus, Alien Covenant, I think they came out within the last decade.
I liked the idea of Prometheus.
Yeah, I thought it was deep. It was
and I liked those weird, what are they called? Those big, giant people.
The engineers.
Yeah, and but I wanted to know more about them.
Yeah,
I'd like to watch a movie about them.
It would be cool if a movie is made about the backstory of the Engineer Society back when it was flourishing and what, be interesting to see.
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, science fiction is it's just one of those genres that's just fascinating. Just because I mean,
to me though that there's not that many great science fiction movies.
There really is.
I mean, there's good ones, but year to year a new one will come out, and I get excited to go, and it's not that good.
Yeah,
I get excited, I go, it's not that good.
I got so pumped for Interstellar.
Yeah,
so pumped, and I was so disappointed at that movie.
Yeah, there are parts of it I really like.
Yeah, I mean the special effects in that, and how they tapped into the space-time continuum.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I mean that was fantastic, but it was just the rest of the movie was just kind of a letdown.
Yeah.
What was the Martian with the what's his nuts Ben Affleck's hetero life mate, Matt Damon.
Yeah.
That one kind of gave me the shudders a little bit. I know it's not a scary movie, but just think about that. You're this dude. Not only are you like stranded and by yourself, you're not on an island like Tom Hanks in Castaway. You're not up in the Arctic like that dude from that movie. What was that? Anyway, you're on a different planet by yourself, and the soonest someone could come get you once they realize you're gone is like 8 months to a year.
Right. You got to play the long game.
Fuck, man, that one just got me thinking a lot, because me, I like space and stars and planets and all that stuff. But yeah, that was just whoo.
When you said that Matt Damon, I was thinking, well, Matt Damon was in Interstellar too, also.
Was he? I thought that was Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, no, I know, but remember they went up to see which of their previous things were habitable,
right?
And wasn't that it? One of them was said he sent the beacon that it was a good place, and they went, and it was that frozen world. And it was Matt Damon, and he was a bad guy, and he was trying to, because he didn't want to die.
Yeah, you're right. Forgot about that.
Yeah, so it threw me because I was like, yeah, that's right. He's been in two that.
Two like big time like space travel movies, but I mean. There's a lot. I mean, there's a ton of different movies that fall into that science fiction category. When you think about it, I mean, Star Wars, the Marvel movies all fall into that. The Mad Max movies, which I love all those movies. I don't know about you.
Yeah,
but I love them.
I did early on. Yeah, for sure. I love.
Have you seen the latest one, Fury Road?
No.
Yeah, it's got Tom Hardy takes up the role as Max Rockatowski. And then it's got Charlize Theron as Furiosa. In that movie. And,
I saw all over the news lately that she's saying she was scared for her safety around him during that. Apparently he was aggressive, and saw this really stuff coming out about that.
Yeah,
that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
She was abused, but it was still a good movie.
Yeah. I mean, I hate hearing about that. The Harvey Weinstein shit. I hate hearing about that, man. It's like, damn it.
Well, and Corey, not Fieldman, but what was his buddy?
Corey Haim.
Corey Haim tried to tell us. Corey Haim tried to tell us just how sick Hollywood was.
Yeah.
Nobody believed him. They all thought he was just a crackhead.
Yeah,
he was, but I mean,
he kind of got pushed there.
Yeah, I mean, he was
like child actors, man.
Oh, it's terrible.
I feel terrible for child actors. I mean, yeah, there's some great movies with kids in it, but like, man, those kids never turn out okay.
Never.
Like,
Well, what about so science fiction? And you were saying you liked horror.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about how Stephen King kind of can be a little bit of? I mean,
a little bit.
So he has horror.
Yes.
But then we could jump into one of my favorite movies of all time, Shawshank Redemption.
Right. Which isn't really horror. It's kind of a period piece / science fiction a little bit.
No science fiction, I guess, but yeah, I mean, not
a little bit,
not in the normal.
There's definitely like a paranormal, kind of a otherworldly aspect to it. But yeah, no, I love Shawshank Redemption is.
I guess I was thinking of the connection.
Oh, I was getting it mixed up with the Green Mile. My bad. I'm the whole time I'm waiting to start talking about John Coffey.
And you know what? And that one does have a little bit of.
That one is more science fiction.
Yes.
Yeah, Shawshank is just
Shawshank was the connection because of Stephen King and horror, and you love horror. Well, what about Shawshank Redemption, which is not horror, but
one of the best movies ever made, in my opinion.
Yes.
Tim Robbins,
all of them, every
Morgan
single
Freeman.
Person.
I mean, every single.
What's the guy? The Krusty Krab. He also is.
Yeah, Tom Clancy.
Oh man.
Or is it Tom Clancy?
No,
something Clancy or Clancy Brown.
Yep.
Clancy Brown. Tom Clancy's the author.
That guy. Wow, what an actor!
That dude is so versatile.
Plays such a good bad guy.
And then he's Mr. Krabs.
And then he's Mr. What?
Yeah. Have you ever seen Starship Troopers?
I think so. A long time.
He's like the drill instructor at the infantry academy or whatever, and yeah, he's just great. Like every role he does, he's just awesome at.
Yeah, he's good for that stuff.
He's kind of like that. What's the guy's name that? Oh God, something Wilson. Who he was Biff Tannen in the Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Tom Wilson maybe.
I can't think of his name.
Yeah, he's another one, dude. That's just like one of those actors that you'll just see him like, oh hey, there's Biff Tannen. That's all he's known for is that's Biff Tannen. But it takes away the fact that he's a phenomenal actor, kind of like Clancy Brown.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Shawshank is like I could watch that movie.
There's so many messages in it, and
there's so many little details that you can pick up each time you watch it.
mm-hmm.
There's just so many little hidden details that you notice, and just the message behind it, and yeah,
it felt so good. I felt not many movies at the end do I feel like completed. Like that one when I got to the end, when the scene of the boat
when Red's walking up to him on the beach to the boat, dude.
I went, oh, that's amazing, perfect.
You almost want to clap.
Yeah, they did it. They
you almost want to clap, dude. Yeah. But yeah, for real, no, Shawshank, great movie. But if you want to start blending the genres a little bit, I'm going to talk one I want to mention, science fiction and horror together, Event Horizon.
I did like Event Horizon.
Oh my God, did that movie get me?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That is a good.
And like you go online to like these jackasses on Rotten Tomatoes or whatnot. There's like all these negative comments and stuff. I thought the movie was awesome. Oh my God, it totally talks about I don't know if the science behind it is plausible, but I mean just the imagery in that movie was in the scare and the themes. You're thinking like, okay, it's all about science fiction. Like hell no, it ain't talking about going to other galaxies. It's talking about going to hell.
Yeah,
like it brought back something demonic. It goes from like science fiction to horror to suspense and thriller all in one movie.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful flick. And I love Lawrence Fishburne.
What about anything? What about oh gosh, I think it's called Moon, and he's Rockefeller. Is that his last name? Rockefeller. He was in John Coffey movie. He played the cowboy. Across the cell from John Coffey, and he spit out like food at him that time. I can't he was in a science fiction movie called Moon or something, and he's every day does the same thing. He gets up and he goes out to the stations and does whatever, and he comes back, and pretty soon he starts realizing. I think at the end of it, it's something like they just keep regenerating him, like a new one of him comes, but one of them figures it out. And it's like they just keep growing a new one of him, and he's just running this thing on the moon. It was pretty good.
Huh. I haven't seen that one.
It's not that old either.
I'll
5 years.
Check that one out. Well, what's that one that's coming out where it's like the moon like actually has like some sort of like entity in it, and it comes alive and it like attacks the Earth or whatever? Moonfall? Is that what it's called? Moonfall?
I did see something about that.
I might have to check that one out.
It was odd. Yeah, it was kooky. I'd not...
But for me, jumping back to the horror franchise, my favorite all-time horror movie is Friday the 13th Part 6. Okay?
6.
Part 6. And it's like if you ask people who are big fans of Rocky, and they'll be like, hey, what's the best Rocky movie?
4.
So, there you go. Every time. I've yet to find somebody that says 1, 2, or 3. Nobody says 5.
Right.
No, it's 4. Right? So, part 6, part 1, Friday the 13th, part 1, it's actually Jason's mom is the killer. Right? Part 2, we get to see Jason as a killer, but instead of this, uber strong zombie thing, he's just a regular kind of, hair-lip deer lick that lives out in the woods that doesn't like people sniffing around his area, which kind of carries forward into 3 and 4. And then in 4, he apparently dies at the hands of Tommy Jarvis, who smacks him in the head with a machete. Okay?
Never a good idea.
Never a good idea. Most people don't come back from that. So part 5 is horrible because it instead of being actually Jason, it's just a guy who's pretending to be Jason, a copycat, which is bleh. So part 6 shows Tommy Jarvis coming back as an older man now, or as a young adult, and he wants to destroy Jason's grave so he can just be rid of it and let go of the memory because Jason killed everybody he loved. So he digs up the grave. He sees Jason laying there all decomposed with worms crawling in and out of him. And he starts stabbing him with this metal fence post. And then, of course, there's a big storm brewing, and then lightning hits it, and it brings Jason back to life with like supernatural powers.
Great.
And the chaos that ensues after Jason comes back to life is just fantastic, dude. It's funny, it's cheesy, but it's just over the top, brutal. I mean, so much blood. There's so much blood spray in that one, but it just kind of, that's the Jason that everybody today knows. You know, the rotten skin and the raggedy clothes and stuff. That's him. That's where that idea of Jason came for. The Jason with the bag over his head with one hole cut out, nobody knows that guy.
Right.
Except for old school horror movie buffs.
Right.
But the hockey mask with the zombie skin and everything else, everybody knows that guy. How many kids dress up like him for Halloween and whatnot. So yeah, Friday the 13th, part 6, Jason Lives, is my all-time favorite horror movie.
Okay. Set in stone, right?
Set in stone right there, man.
Okay.
But
right.
I also like period pieces, too.
Oh.
Movies about, historical figures. I like those. I like those ones.
Like?
Lawrence of Arabia, Braveheart.
Aladdin.
Oh,
oh no, I'm sorry.
I do like Aladdin, don't get me wrong, man. But, Braveheart, for example.
Do you want to do that line?
What line?
Or take our...
They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!
Okay, all right.
Yeah. No, I love Braveheart, dude. Just the scale of the battle. That was like the first movie where you really got to see that, like running into each other and just a clash of warriors. You know what I mean? And it was just so badass. And Mel Gibson just rocked in that movie, and everybody rocked in that movie. And then the ending sucked, of course.
No, I thought Joaquin was great in that.
I don't think Joaquin was in that movie, bro.
That was Gladiator.
Which is another awesome historical flick. And I'm not going to get into the historical accuracies because they're all wrong. They're all wrong.
Yeah. This is Hollywood.
It's Hollywood, yeah.
Make believe.
Yeah, like I've said before, if Hollywood really stayed true to the story, they wouldn't be able to produce the films because of today's PC standards and because of everything else. It just wouldn't work. And nobody would watch it because it was awful. But yeah, dude. Gladiator is great. Troy. Love Troy.
I wasn't a big fan of Troy.
You weren't a big fan of Troy?
No.
Explain.
I'm not a big fan of... Except Brad Pitt was in that?
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Brad Pitt.
Well...
I think he's okay in a couple of things, but for the most part, I just don't... I don't buy his roles.
I loved...
But yet Tom Cruise is a great actor, so, schlock movies, but... Every role he's in, I buy it. Like, yeah, this guy's nuts. Or
Tom Cruise, he's crazier than a shithouse rat, but he is a fantastic actor.
I don't care for a lot of his movies, but there was one where he was a hitman, and I really liked that one. And Jamie Foxx, I think, was driving a cab, and he drove him around, and he's a good actor.
I love Jamie Foxx too.
Yeah, you too.
Sure. Jamie Foxx is great, fantastic actor in his own right. But
he can do a little bit of everything, can he? I mean,
yeah. No, I think why I like Troy so much is it just had so many nautical aspects to it.
Wait, come on.
It does. They're sailing across the Aegean. There's a lot of water and sand and everything in there, so it just makes me think of the beach, and I love the beach. So
yeah,
probably
and
a big reason.
Kenny Chesney.
A little bit. I like a little bit Kenny Chesney. Not as much as I like John Denver, but I kid. John Denver's all right.
Take me on. Sorry, all right.
Just don't start singing the Beatles. But yeah, man. I just lost my train of thought. So we were talking about
Movies.
Troy. Oh,
Troy.
you
Yeah,
know,
Troy.
Troy, the nautical aspect to it. I love Pirates of the Caribbean. Every single one that comes out, I go and watch it, and then I buy it, and I don't care what critics say or what other people say. I love pirate movies. Don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they're so cheesy and unrealistic. Really? Really?
Yeah. No, I have watched a handful of them, and I thought the special effects were amazing.
Ah, that's all.
But I'm not a huge storyline in movies doesn't interest me so much. You know?
Right.
Although I love pirates and all that kind of stuff, I just for some reason that line didn't interest me. Now I've watched them and they're yeah, but
You know,
they don't get my juices flowing, Joe.
yeah. You want to know what movie I
do.
watch any chance I see it available, like on a streaming service or whatever? I'll watch it, I'll love it, and I'll watch it again. Is Waterworld.
Interesting. Okay, now you know how I said they make science fiction films and then I go and I'm always disappointed? To me, Waterworld was very disappointing. I didn't think it was that great. I liked it, but because it was science fiction and I liked the idea.
Yeah.
But on a side note, can I just add a side note about
Of
Waterworld?
course.
When my wife and I, when we were still dating, we moved to the Big Island just for like 3 months. And we met a lady, somehow distantly through my mother, we kind of knew her, and she was wild and crazy. And she told us, and she could have been making it up, I don't know. I remember her telling us all about when they were filming over in the islands for that. And she got to hang out with
Kevin
Costner. But the crazy part is this gal was so crazy. She said that she slept with him, you know, and they smoked. She provided everybody with marijuana, and you know, this would have been 90. What year did that come out? I don't know.
94?
It was 90s. Yeah, so this would have been
94,
90.
95?
This would have been 96-ish that we went, 7-ish, and so anyway, sorry. Side note. I just every time I think of that movie, I think about how I met some gal that told me that she, did all. And I'm like, oh, good lord.
Speaking of movie scenes in Hawaii, so we went to some collegiate choir festival down in Honolulu, right? And we were there for like 10 days, and we only sang like 3 times, so the rest of it's like all vacation time. And one of the days we were going to, I think it was North Shore, maybe, or somewhere. But anyway, we're going, and we're like, we see all these vehicles on the beach and like parts of this airplane, right? Like, what the hell? What's going on? And so my wife, we were just dating at the time, me, her, and a couple other people from choir. They said, dude, let's go check it out. Like, no, they won't let you. It's like, no, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? They're just going to tell us to, tell us to get lost. And so, yeah, let's go. So we cross the highway. We walk down and we start walking on the beach. We're walking through, and there's all these like cameras set up and sound screens, things like that.
All the movie set stuff.
Yeah, and I'm like, whoa, what is going on here? And we come on, this guy who's like got this clipboard. Like, hey man, what's up? He's like, what are you guys doing? And it's like, oh, we just saw this. Check it out. I was like, well, you can't be down here. What's going on? He's like, well, we're starting to film a new series that Tom Hanks is involved in, involving plane crash and survivors.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. It's like, are any of the actors here? No, not yet. No, we're just getting the scene set up or whatever. But yeah, there's lots of heavy equipment and stuff, and you guys, your reliability can't be here. And I'm sorry, we'll leave. So we took off. It was Lost, dude.
Oh, Lost.
They were
Castaway. You said Tom Hanks.
No, they said Tom Hanks was like somehow involved. This guy did with the clipboard, and then but anyway, it was Lost. We saw it in the newspaper, like show being filmed on the whatever beach it was. But yeah, it was Lost.
That's cool.
So
I was a huge fan of Lost.
I know you were. That's why I wanted to bring that up. I actually walked on the set of the very first Lost episode.
Nice.
Yeah, my wife and I did. Very random. Which I never watched Lost. I never got into that one. Of course, I never really got into TV shows or sitcoms, or series or anything like that. But a lot of people did. A lot of people got big into that show. Kind of like The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a big zombie guy.
I love horror movies. I like zombie flicks. Don't get me wrong. They ruined it. Every Walking Dead fan ruined that show for me.
Really?
They ruined it. I had a coworker at the last agency I worked for that was so obsessed with it, and she would go to meet and greets for the actors and stuff, and would tell me all about the episodes, and I'm like, I haven't seen one goddamn show yet. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't want to watch this show now because you talk about it so much.
Right.
It's like, God, man, and people, oh my God, did you see The Walking Dead last night? No, I didn't. So don't talk about it. Thanks. Right. It's like people on the internet talking about CrossFit. No one cares.
Right.
You're annoying as hell about it. Shut up.
Right.
God, I'm tired. I don't care about The Walking Dead. And, then Fear the Walking Dead. And, they're coming with all these different, offshoots for this show. And it's like, it's a zombie flick. Why is this gaining so much popularity for being a made-for-TV sitcom?
Right.
Like, it's just, God. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to check it out. So I watched one episode of it. And I'm just like, this is the most cliche friggin' TV series I've ever watched.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, humanity's on the brink of extinction because of a zombie virus outbreak. Everybody has to survive. But amongst the survivors, there's internal strife for power and control. Dumb. Dumb. Don't waste my time with that. Yeah. We don't need 10 years of that crap.
Yeah.
10 years or however long that show ran. 10 years of people walking around in a dystopian planet Earth running from zombies.
Right.
That's terrible. But people bought into that like it was, the coolest thing next to sliced bread, man.
I know it.
And I never could get on board with it. I never could. Same with other shows. I guess I need to start watching shows right when they come out, because the moment they become trendy and people start talking about how awesome they are, I won't watch them.
Right.
Like, what's another good example? Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I didn't watch Breaking Bad till because I wasn't interested in it. The topic and everything around it didn't sound interesting.
Yeah.
And then I watched it like the last 2 seasons or something. I started watching and I got hooked immediately. So the best part about that is that now it was already, by the time I watched, everybody had already gotten over it and it was going to be off the air.
Yeah.
So I got to watch all of it like it was brand new. And same with Game of Thrones. I didn't watch Game of Thrones.
I haven't seen a single episode of Game of Thrones yet either.
I didn't see it until the very end, the last season. And I got free HBO or something, and I thought, I'm not interested. Episode 1, I was hooked. And so, I didn't conform during it, but afterwards I was like,
I'm sure I would absolutely love Game of Thrones. I bet I would love it.
I think it's pretty good.
I mean, I love Lord of the Rings. I love, medieval war movies. I love swords and all that crap,
sword
and
fighting,
magic,
right.
Wizards and all that stuff. But yeah, it became It became like super trendy, and then all of a sudden, I just didn't have a desire to watch it.
Yeah.
And let's see what. So yeah, like Breaking Bad. I've never seen Breaking Bad. That one got Yellowstone. I hear so much about Yellowstone.
That's the new one up in Montana.
Yeah,
with Kevin Costner.
With Kevin Costner, and I love Kevin Costner. He's great, one of my favorite actors, and I haven't watched an episode of Yellowstone yet. It's just like, man, I have so much to catch up on these shows, but I don't know if I want to do it.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
But I will say the last, movie channel series that I watched was, it was on Stars, and it was the Spartacus series. You see any of those?
I don't think I did. I can't remember.
Yeah, anyway, it was set in Roman era, gladiators, stuff like that, about around Spartacus and the slave revolt. But it is extremely graphic. Extremely. I mean, you're seeing full on wieners and that.
Whoa.
Yeah,
whoa.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, dude. It's like, it's almost like should be rated something other than TVMA.
Well, that's
But the action in it is fantastic. But yeah, it's there's a lot of gratuitous nudity in that
You know
show.
what I just started watching was Vikings Valhalla
Oh
on Netflix.
yeah,
Now it's not as like I loved Vikings.
I did too.
What
I
was
love
that on? Who carried that?
that was History Channel.
History. I loved that show.
That show was, oh my god,
It
I
blew
love
my
that
mind.
show.
Every episode to me was like a mini movie, and the sound and the
Ugh.
music and the visual, and some of the actors were just far. But then, so now this is a spin-off.
I think
And
it's set before.
later. It's after. It's Leif Erikson.
Oh, okay, so it's after Ragnar.
It's after Ragnar. It's 100 and something years later, and it's Leif Erikson, and Leif Erikson is now going back and forth from Greenland to Kattegat and fighting for London, and it's really good now. But the first episode, I started going, I don't, because it's not as good as that other show to me yet.
Right. Yeah, dude, there's 2 episodes of Vikings that like almost haunted me for a while. Like really, really got me. The first one was when they all traveled to King Horus's palace, and they had all the sacrifices and stuff like that. Well, like when the one dude's like when they were going to sacrifice that priest that they captured.
Yeah.
And the blind seer guy's like, no, it has to be Norseman, otherwise the gods will punish us. And that one dude stands up, is like, I'll do it. He's all smiling and happy, lays on the table, and they cut his throat. And then the scene ends with him just hanging there, as part of a sacrifice. And I was just like, damn, dude,
Yeah.
that one.
What about Blood Eagle or whatever?
That one, yes.
When he
get what is it, Jarl Borg? What's his name? Walks in there and tosses his old lady his robe, and then just sits there and like, oh my god, dude.
Oh man.
I mean, let's talk about the Blood Eagle.
Okay, before we get in, I just want to say that the seer, or he's also in this new thing.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so they do have one kind of connection.
Little continuity there. Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about that Blood Eagle episode, man. Like the scene where Ragnar's sitting in the bath, and his son Bjorn, he goes, "Hey, I want to ask you something. What's a Blood Eagle?" And when Ragnar is explaining it, he's like, "You make a cut down the spine, and then you break the bones away, and you put the lungs up on the shoulder like the wings of a folded eagle, and you can't make a sound. If you make a sound, you will not be allowed into the gates of Valhalla." And I'm just like, dude. Mm-hmm. And then they go to the scene, man.
It was brutal.
It was like, oh my, and the music behind it, and just the fire and the ambiance, and and they got the eagle right there that's sitting there looking at him, and the guy like smiles at the end when his lungs are hanging over his shoulder. It's just, whoa,
man.
Yeah, that one got me, dude. That one got me. And then I will say the episode where Ragnar's daughter dies of that whatever sickness that was going around, and he does like this farewell speech to her on the water, on the shore. Dude, that one got me.
Yeah,
that was a good. That whole series was awesome.
I loved it,
and I really became a big Ivar fan.
I know. I
love Ivar.
Yeah.
He's so crazy, dude. It's just
That was good. Yeah, that's some great characters in there.
But oh god, what was Ragnar's first wife? Lagertha. What a badass, dude.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, and then his second wife was Auslag, right?
I think so.
Yep. Yeah, but yeah, just I love Vikings. Nightfall. Did you ever watch Nightfall?
Nightfall.
It was another History Channel show. It was a show centered around the Knights Templar, and kind of
I don't remember that one.
And kind of their undoing at the hands of some French monarch or something. But anyway, it was good. I thought it was really good. They only did like 1 or 2 seasons of it, but Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, he plays like a head Knight Templar. He's got like this long white hair and this big white beard, and he's just a
I don't want to forget this because we're running low on time. What about Avatar?
Love that movie, dude.
Is there another one coming?
Yes.
What is the holdup?
It's a James Cameron flick, so it's going to take for freaking ever, I guess. But And now Disney, it's Disney now too, so it's going to be the most extravagant movie ever made, and probably the most expensive movie ever made,
Yeah.
guaranteed.
Big checkbook there. Yeah.
But it will be badass. I'm like super pumped for that
I
one.
am too. I can't wait.
I
I forgot to mention Avatar.
I know. We talk about science fiction. Like Avatar is just an amazing movie. Like my kids even my girls love Avatar. Just it's so good, so good. It's like I can't wait for Avatar 2. Lots of good movies coming up that I really want to see. There's some new Marvel flicks coming out that I'm excited for. But
sometimes I like to just watch trailer clips.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. I love getting clips
on YouTube and just bring on.
Yep, and then just get excited, get pumped up for the movies that are coming up.
Yeah.
I just watched a new one the other night. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
I think I did see a preview of that.
That was a good movie. If you like martial arts style fighting, like, wow, it is so good, dude. And also, I got to give a quick shout out to one of my favorite movies of all time.
Let's hear it.
All time. This is going to be weird for a lot of people that know me. But I first saw this movie when I was a little kid, and it's the reason why I became obsessed with wizards, why I got into the Lord of the Rings, why I got into what I'm really into, and that is The Sword and the Stone.
That's right.
The Disney movie Sword and the Stone.
Right. You did.
Haegadus, Figadus, Megadus, Mum, the Prestidigitonium, Merlin's little spell he uses to shrink everything to go travel to,
And that is indeed for the show, like the connection right there.
Yeah, there's the connection right there. It's like Merlin was like my inspiration. I loved him. And Archimedes is Al, and Arthurian legend. I got really involved with that. But anyway, it's
been fun. I love talking about movies.
I do too. We could probably do about 10 episodes on movies, which we will come to this again another time. But for today, we'll end on a note. Say, it doesn't matter what movie you watch. It's if you like it, enjoy it. But anyway, give us a shout out on Instagram, The Wizard's Words, or hit me up in an email at magus_wow@yahoo.com if you want suggestions, or maybe you want to be part of the show. Next week, I think we're going to be making a few random phone calls to folks.
So send us your number. We'll call you.
Yeah, we'll call you. But I want to thank you all for hanging out with us. Enjoy. I hope you all are wearing your Russell Brand sweats, drinking that hot cup of chamomile tea. It's good for the soul. Anyway, stay golden, stay frosty. Catch you next time.
Done.
Nice. 1